We've learned that if we're going to ditch the distractions, we need to increase our level of attention. We know that there's one positive attention pattern. We need to stay on that small departure. In addition to attention, we can ditch the distractions through concentration. That's right. If we can increase our capacity to concentrate, we will be able to start to minimize or even eliminate the distractions in our world. In this session, I'll share with you a definition, some tips, and then I'm going to challenge you with an exercise on how you concentrate. We define concentration as the action or power of focusing your attention. So concentration is the sister or the brother of attention. Here are 5 practical tips that you can use to expand your capacity to concentrate. Number 1, take a sincere interest in people and ideas. If this sounds familiar, we go all the way back to the 10 listening habits. Habit number 1, find something of interest. Number 2, stretch your listening muscle with new and difficult topics. Again, we borrow from the listening habits. Habit number 8, stretch your listening muscle, that amazing biocomputer that we have called the mind. Number 3 is to develop your curiosity level. Be more curious. That's what listening leaders do. Number 4 is to seek what's in it for me, the radio station WIIFM. As you're searing the message, think about, what can I use? What's important to me? And number 5, be responsible, 100%, engaged, and disciplined. I call this Big Red. If you can develop the habit of Big Red, you will increase your level of concentration. Too many times I've heard people say, oh, gee, I can't concentrate that much. Of course you can't, because you are convincing yourself that you can't. It is a practice. Let's challenge you with an activity here. You're having lunch at an outdoor restaurant. You're taking in all the sounds around you. Before you begin this exercise, review the concentration tips. After you've done so, then continue on, and after you take in all of these sounds, I'm going to ask you some questions at the end. But go into the exercise with a heightened sense of concentration.
It was the first time we had ever traveled outside the States. I took a short course in Spanish, but it didn't seem to do me much
Start
good.
out slow in the
I didn't know the right words to describe what I
for the
wanted.
first few weeks, and
For
then
instance,
up it to
one
10 or
afternoon
15
we were
miles
supposed to
for a
meet
few
some
weeks.
friends who
And
were on the
maybe
same
one
tour,
weekend run
but we
along
made a
one.
wrong turn.
Like 20.
We had a
But
rental
before
car
the race,
and ended
drop
up going
back and
north
train at
instead
5 or
of
6.
south.
The
Anyway,
problem with
we tried to find a
inexperienced
phone
riders is they
so I
burn
could
themselves
call and
out.
leave a message
They
at the hotel
overtrain.
for our
That
friends.
causes
I
injury.
spotted
You know,
a gas
like
station.
pulled tendons
So
and
we
that
pulled
kind of
over
stuff.
and I asked
But I
for
think
a
food
telephone
is
in
where you
Spanish.
get the stuff to
The
make it
attendant
during the
smiled,
walk.
nodded,
High carbs
and
is
pointed
where
to
it's
the
at.
side of the
Foods
building.
like pasta
I
and
went
bread.
where he pointed.
Just before the
found
race,
myself
take
in a
up a
plowed
load,
field
and you have
behind
the energy
building.
to make the
Apparently,
haul.
I had asked to see the telephone poles.
Here are your questions. Number 1, what was the female talking about? 2, what was the male talking about? 3, which of the concentration tips did you use? And number 4, how did you feel during this exercise? How'd you do? I don't know about you, but the first time I went through this activity, I was confused. I had all these sounds from the tires screeching, things dropping, the male voice, the female voice. It was all muddled up in my mind. But as we start to look at these concentration tips and put them into practice, things get clearer, things get sharper. I invite you to rewind the tape, and this time I would like you to focus on one of the voices, whether it be male or female, through the duration. my bet is that you will be blocking out all of the other noises around you as you sear their message. And this begins to touch on our next session, which is multitasking, and how multitasking connects with ditch the distractions.